Was shot and killed just minutes after posting about the domestic violence she was facing. Family members say 34-year-old Mariah Samuels lost her life this weekend to that violence.
This story begins on a quiet Sunday morning in Minneapolis, but it is not a story of peace. It's the final chapter in a true crime saga that unfolds in a tragically short span of just 8 minutes. In that brief window of time, a mother's desperate cry for help on social media would be met not with assistance, but with the cold finality of 15 gunshots. This is the story of Mariah Samuels, a woman who did everything right, who trusted the system to protect her, only to be failed by it at every turn. It's a story that asks a chilling question. When a protective order is just a piece of paper, can it ever truly stop a bullet? Before we dive deeper into Mariah's story, let's talk directly. If you're watching this, and the details of this case feel uncomfortably familiar, know that you are not alone. And if you're passionate about uncovering the truth behind these tragedies, then subscribe to our channel for more true crime stories that matter. Let's get into the dark history that led to Mariah's final moments. It's a calm Sunday morning in Minneapolis, the kind of quiet that feels heavy with sleep. But for 34-year-old Mariah Samuels, there is no peace. Her heart pounds a frantic rhythm against her ribs as she watches a figure lurk in the pre-dawn darkness outside her home. This isn't a stranger. It's David Wright, her ex-boyfriend, and his presence is a chilling, tangible threat. This isn't the first time he has shown up uninvited, a ghost from a relationship she fought to escape. She knows, with a gut-wrenching certainty, that it won't be the last. For 3.5 hours, Mariah waits, a prisoner in her own home, the silence broken only by the frantic thoughts in her head. At 7:45 a.m., her frustration and fear reach a breaking point. She turns to a place where she once shared moments of happiness with her family and friends. Facebook. With trembling fingers, she types a final, desperate message. I was trying to stay silent, but stalking me at 4 in the morning. And the police ain't doing anything besides serve him a protective order. And clearly, it's not doing anything. This public cry for help was not a moment of weakness, but a final act of courage. It was a woman with her back against the wall, pleading for the world to witness what was happening to her. But in the 8 minutes that followed, the world would only witness the violent end to her story. 8 minutes after she hit post, 15 gunshots shattered the Sunday morning stillness. A mother of 2, a woman full of life and light, was found bleeding on the pavement beside her Jeep, just steps from the sanctuary of her front door. This wasn't a random act of violence. It was the tragic, heartbreaking end to a story that began months earlier. It's a story of a system that failed a woman who did everything right. Mariah Rosanna Samuels was a force of nature. At 34, she possessed a rare blend of warmth and strength that drew people to her instantly. Her sister, Selena, described her as sweet, outgoing, and free-spirited. She was the kind of person who could light up a room just by walking into it. Born and raised in Minneapolis, Mariah's life revolved around her family, her community, and a deep, abiding love for animals. Her passion for creatures great and small wasn't just a hobby. It was her profession. She was a professional dog groomer, a career that spoke volumes about her gentle and patient nature. Working with animals requires an intuitive understanding of creatures that cannot speak for themselves. And Mariah possessed that gift in spades. To her, it wasn't just a job, it was an extension of her nurturing soul. She had a special talent for making even the most anxious pets feel calm and safe in her hands. This innate desire to care for the vulnerable would later make her own story all the more tragic. While her work and friendships brought her joy, her greatest accomplishment was her 2 sons. Being a mother wasn't just something she did, it was who she was at her core. Her boys were her world, and she was fiercely protective of them, a fact that would become central to the protection order she later sought. Mariah was building a beautiful life for her children, a life of stability and love. Her social media was a testament to the simple joys she cherished. Family gatherings, moments with her sons, and the laughter that filled her home. Mariah's life was a testament to her strength, but even the strongest people can be vulnerable. David Eugene Wright entered her life in the summer of 2025, a 50-year-old man who, on the surface, seemed to be turning his life around. He was charming, and for a woman like Mariah, who had a nurturing heart, his story of trying to rebuild his life after prison may have appealed to her compassionate nature. After all, everyone deserves a second chance, right? But what Mariah didn't know was that David Wright wasn't just an ex-convict trying to turn over a new leaf. He was a man with a long and violent criminal history that should have raised every red flag imaginable. Court records reveal a man whose entire adult life had been defined by violence and a chilling pattern of predatory behavior. Before he ever met Mariah, he had already perfected the art of hunting women. 2 different women had restraining orders against him in 2020 and 2022, and the pattern was always the same: charm, move fast, isolate, then control. He was a master manipulator, positioning himself as a victim of circumstance, playing on a woman's natural compassion. The relationship between Mariah and David was brief, lasting only a few months. But when Mariah realized the true nature of the man she was with and ended things over the phone, Wright's mask slipped completely. His charm evaporated, replaced by a rage so profound it defied all reason. The first sign of the true monster lurking beneath the surface of David Wright appeared on a quiet August day. He called Mariah, claiming he was outside her house to drop off a gift. But when she went outside to confront him, the gift he was truly there to deliver was violence. He had tracked her to her son's friend's house and proceeded to pistol whip her, leaving her with a knot on her head, scratches, and bruises. He also threatened to blow up her house, a place where her father lived, making it clear that his rage extended to everyone she loved. The physical wounds would eventually heal, but the emotional scars of that day would last forever. Following the assault, Mariah did what so many victims are told to do. She went to the police. She documented her injuries. She filed a petition for an order for protection for both herself and her 11-year-old son. What followed was a horrific game of cat and mouse. David Wright saw the protection order not as a legal boundary, but as a challenge. He began a campaign of relentless stalking and harassment. For 2 full weeks leading up to the murder, Mariah and her family begged law enforcement to do something. They documented every violation, saving text messages and social media posts, but their pleas went unanswered. The system that was meant to protect her had abandoned her. Wright's rage was fueled by his inability to control Mariah. He couldn't accept that she had moved on, that she was building a life without him. In his mind, her independence was a betrayal that required punishment. The text messages he sent were filled with vitriol and threats, a chilling paper trail of a man unhinged by her defiance. The Facebook post she made on the morning of her death was not just a complaint. It was the final, desperate act of a woman who knew she was in mortal danger and felt completely abandoned by the system designed to protect her. Little did she know, Wright was watching. He was waiting. He had planned not just the killing, but his escape route as well. He had waited for her to leave her home that Sunday morning, and when she did, he ambushed her. He shot her multiple times, leaving her to die on the street. In the aftermath, a witness saw him calmly remove a bicycle from the back of her SUV, the very bicycle she had been preparing for a ride. He then pedaled away, the murder weapon still in his pocket, showing no panic, no remorse. His actions were those of a man who believed his actions were not only justified, but necessary. When police arrested David Wright, he didn't try to hide what he had done. Instead, he tried to explain why Mariah deserved it. "Read the text messages," he told them. "Then you'll understand
Loves
why I
animals.
killed
She
her."
loved her son. She was sweet. She was outgoing. She was free-spirited. We loved each other. She's my everything.
This is textbook behavior for a specific type of domestic abuser. They genuinely believe their violence is justified, that the victim made them do it by leaving, by calling the police, by daring to live their life. Wright saw Mariah's independence as a crime, and her murder as a rational.
Samuels' family members believe her ex-boyfriend is responsible for her death. They say she had a restraining order out against him.
We both
making police reports, calling the police for the last 2 weeks.
The final twist in this devastating story is perhaps the most infuriating. David Wright was on federal supervision for illegal gun possession. Yet, he was able to obtain another firearm and execute a woman who had a protection order against him. The system had multiple chances to stop him, not just with Mariah, but with every woman he had terrorized before. But time and again, it failed. Mariah Samuels' life was a testament to her strength, her love, and her vibrant spirit. Her death was a brutal, heartbreaking reminder that a piece of paper is no match for a bullet. Her family, particularly her sister Selena and her aunt Carolyn, have since turned their grief into action, marching and demanding systemic changes.
And he searched and he looked and he's been around the block watching, and he got her.
Now, family members are planning Mariah Samuels' funeral just weeks after her 34th birthday.
To the world, take domestic violence seriously. You know, reach out to somebody. I don't know if the police can help you all the time. Get out of the relationship. Escape if you can.
Mariah's story challenges all of us to pay attention to the warning signs, to take every cry for help seriously, and to demand that the systems in place to protect us are not just paper tigers. This story serves as a chilling reminder that domestic violence isn't a private matter. It's a community crisis. It challenges us to look beyond the surface, to see the patterns of abuse, and to hold ourselves and our institutions accountable. If Mariah's story has opened your eyes to the painful reality of domestic violence, then this is your moment to act. Don't let her legacy be just another tragic headline. Join us at 24/7 True Crime Chronicles by hitting the subscribe button below. By doing so, you're not just getting more true crime content, you're becoming part of a community committed to shedding light on stories that matter, stories that can save lives. Let's make sure Mariah's plea for help was not in vain. Subscribe now and stay informed, stay vigilant, and stay safe.